Hi, it's Hilary from the Red Brick Center for the Arts in Aspen, Colorado. Today I'm going to show you how to make a really fun paper flower vase. And later I can show you in a different video on how to make paper flowers to put in it. This vase was made using some simple materials that hopefully you have at your house. I used a toilet paper tube, a couple magazines, some scissors, and some glue. So let's get started and learn how to make it. Okay, so to make this vase, one of the things you're going to need is some magazines. Now, if you don't have magazines, you could do this with just regular paper, and you could color on the paper, or you could try to find some wrapping paper. But I'm going to use magazines, and the reason we're using magazines is that we're looking for 3 different colors. And usually when you look in a magazine, you'll see lots of different things because there's lots of words and pictures. So I used these, Cooking Light and Better Homes and Gardens, and I went through and I first tried to see what colors do I see the most of when I'm looking through there. So that helped me make up my mind. I didn't decide ahead of time because sometimes a magazine just won't have the color you want. So once I saw some colors repeating, I decided to pull out the pages. And so what I picked was purple. There's some purple on these pages and like a light pink color. And it's okay if there's some writing. We'll talk about how to not use the writing later. So I picked purple as one of my colors, and I took out some pages that had a lot of blue on them. So here's some other ones that I picked. And it's okay again if it has other things on it. We won't use those other parts, but you're wanting to look for the color. And so I have some purple and some blue. Now later we're going to have to find one more color, but we'll do that in a little bit. Okay, so the next part is going to be cutting colored squares. And you're going to need 10 squares of one color and 10 squares of another color. So it's a total of 20 squares. And so the squares that I cut were about 2 inches by 2 inches. Now you could get out a ruler and measure, or you could just kind of guess. You want to cut a square that's about this big, so it fits kind of right in the middle of my hand. Do the best you can to make sure it's a square. So let me show you how to work with the color so that you can just get parts that are colored and not words. So I'm going to use this blue right here. And I'm going to put my pattern on top, and I'm going to hold it, and I'm going to cut around. And that's one square that I have. And I'll just set that aside. So I can keep using the same piece until I can't really find any parts that I can't use very well anymore. And cut around. And then that extra that I don't need, just set it aside. You might be able to use some of this same one later, so don't throw it away yet. Okay, so that's 2 squares. Gosh, if I look at this one, it's a little hard to find the blue, but there's some down in this corner. And if you get a little of another color on there, that's not a problem. Just do your best and try to just get colored pieces that you can cut out. Now, reminder, we need 10 of each color. So I'm going to keep cutting, and when I finish, I'll show you what's next. Okay, so I'm done cutting, and I have 10 purple squares and 10 blue squares. And the next thing that we're going to need to do is glue them together. So I have a glue stick, and I recommend, instead of gluing right on your table, use one of those pieces of magazine that you had before and set it underneath you. Now this part here is really important that you get enough glue so that it all sticks together really nice and doesn't fall apart. So I'm going to take one of my blue ones, put glue all the way to the edges and even in the middle. And then I'm going to take one of the purple ones, and I'm going to put it right on top. Okay, and then push it down really good. And then set that one aside. And do another with, just to review, we've got the blue. We go all the way around and in the middle. And then a purple. We put that one right on top. And so we have one side's blue and the other side's purple. Now, I'm going to finish all of these, but before I go work on that, after you get them all glued together, you want to look and see if there's any extra sticking out. And if there is, just take your scissors and trim off whatever seems to be sticking out. Okay? Try to keep it like a square, but I trimmed that piece, and I'll trim this one too. Okay? And then, once they are all trimmed up and you have all of them glued together, you'll have one side blue, one side purple. So let's work on that. Okay, so I finished that, and my glue stick has its lid on it, and I have these put together. One side of mine are blue and the other side is purple. Now, you of course can be making yours with different colors, but try to just stick to 2 colors. And then the next part, we are going to decide if you want your spirals on your vase to have, what color is going to be on the inside. So on this vase, the yellow's on the inside and this maroon color is on the outside. So it depends on how I take my square and fold it. So I have my square here, and if I go like this, and I join, so it's kind of this direction, and I join 2 sides, and I hold on to it, that would have pink on the outside, or purple on the outside, and blue in the middle. Or I could do it the other way around, and then I'd mostly have the blue on the outside and the purple on the inside. So I think I'm going to do mine like that. So what you need to do is use your glue and put glue on one of the points, and I go around several times, so I've got quite a bit of glue on there. And then I'm going to fold around and pinch, and this is the part where you have to count. And I'm counting to 10. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So once I count to 10, I should be able to get my fingers out of there and have that done and be able to set that aside. Now the glue hasn't dried, so be careful that you don't touch it too much or it could fall apart. So you're going to need to do that the same way with all of your 10 pieces. So again, with my blue one, I want my pink on or purple on the inside. So I'm going to put the glue on the other side, putting the glue on the blue side, right on the corner, and rolling it up, and then holding for a count of 10. So let's get all 10 of your squares turned into these little loops, and then we'll keep going from there. Okay, so the next part is to get your toilet paper tube and decide what color you want to have for the background, the part that's going to go around the tube. Now, a lot of this color is going to get covered up, but it should be a color that's different from your squares, but a color that also either complements or looks really nice with your squares, or a contrasting color, so a color that's very different or maybe opposite on the color wheel from these loops. So I've decided to pick green. I think green might look really pretty. And if you're picking a color that you can't find a piece that's big enough to put around your toilet paper tube, you can also take your magazine that you found and cut some strips. So if I was going to put mine on with strips, I'd go like that. I'd cut my strip, move that stuff out of the way. I'd put some glue on the back, Oh, remembering not to glue on my table, so I'll put this underneath. I'm going to put some glue on here. And then I'm just going to pick this up and start to line it up with the very tippy top edge of the tube. Your project's going to look really, really nice and really pretty if you're careful about lining it up really good at the top. Now, if you have trouble lining it up and you have some extra, so that's what I had, all you have to do is go back with your scissors and cut off that extra. Okay, so there is one piece, and you are going to cover your whole tube with your background color. Once you get that done, I'll show you how to put on the loops. Okay, so I have my tube covered in the green, and now what I'm going to do is pick these and place them so that the point lines up with the bottom, and glue it right like this to the tube. So really what I found was you need to put glue in the middle of your project, and you're going to put glue kind of quite a bit right here in the middle, and then take it to your tube and line the point up with the bottom and push and hold. And this is another one where you're going to need to count to 10 while you're holding. Okay, and then the next one will go on, and then the next one, and you're going to work all the way around the whole tube, and hopefully 10 was the right number for you to have it all full. If you find any gaps, push your pieces close together, and if you need an extra one, make another one. But when it's all done, all the way around, it will look like this at the bottom. Okay? Okay, we're almost done. There's 2 more parts. So I have all these glued all the way around, and I actually had an extra that I didn't need to use. You are going to need to cut some petals, and we're going to use those a little bit later, but go ahead and cut 10 or 12 or so of these little petals, and I decided to pick blue for mine. Those are going to end up like this one, where they're around the top edge. But before we use the petals, we're going to also use one more piece of magazine paper. This is about half of a page, and it does have some colors that I like. I don't really like the lettering, but that's going to get rolled up. So I'm going to turn it to the side, and I'm going to flip it over, and I'm just going to kind of fold this in a little bit and start to roll it up. And it's kind of like a little bit like a flat roll. Now when I get close to the edge, I'm going to need to put some glue on. And the only reason I switched glues is because my other one ran out. So I'm going to put a little glue on there, and once it's there, I'm going to actually go ahead and flatten it. So it was kind of rolled up, but now it's flat. Okay, and there is my piece of rolled up magazine that's glued together. This is going to go around the top edge of your vase. So what you're going to need to do is put glue around here, or you can put glue, actually, I'm going to put my glue on my new magazine paper all the way down, and then I'm going to pick it up and I'm going to start to place it all the way around the top edge. And I'm going to go all the way around, and this is going to be longer than the toilet paper tube, and that's like that on purpose. So you're just going to keep going around until you run out, and then you're going to need to hold it. So sometimes the glue doesn't set right away, so you're going to need to just be patient and hold, kind of pinch and hold until it starts to stay. Once it stays, then you're going to do the same thing where you put some glue on your petals, and the petal actually goes to the inside of your project and then comes out. So it's gluing to the inside of the tube. So again, I'm going to put some glue on the petal, push it onto the inside, hold, and let it come out to the outside. So once you get all the way around, you will be done and you'll have finished your vase. Congratulations, and make sure that you share your work. We will post the website for where to send pictures to the Red Brick so that we can see what you made. Thanks. Okay, so my vase is finished. It has all those petals around the top and that like that, and there it is. I'm really happy with it, and I'm going to be showing next time how to make some paper flowers that you can put inside your paper vase. When you finish, take a photo of your artwork and email it to redbrickarts@cityofaspen.com.